as you swim across the vast sea of information we call the internet. Perhaps looking for a quick dose of entertainment, inspiration, or genuinely trying to learn something new. You always come across these guys. The piranha
Here in my
marketers.
garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
These days, it seems like everyone, their moms, and even their grannies, are trying to sell you something online. A new content creation system, a new business model, a new tactic to attract women, a money manifestation system, whatever. And as a person who is chronically on the internet, just in the past 6 months, these are all of the business models that I've ran into that people say are the next best thing. Dropshipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, social media marketing agency. I tried this one and I hated my life. Artificial intelligence automation agency, an info product growth agency, using Etsy to sell cat pictures on mugs, also known as print on demand. A no-code development agency, software as a service, short-form content agency, information and digital products, Twitter ghostwriting, forex trading, cryptocurrency trading, single skill freelancing, and many more. The best way to make 10 grand a month in 2024. Trust me, I'm as tired of hearing that line as you are. But why do I make this video? And that is because I want to make it very clear that selling stuff online is not evil. There is nothing wrong with using the internet to create a creative income for yourself. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. The problem is how people are going about doing this. And if you stick around till the end of this video, I promise you, we're going to get to the root of this problem. Understand why it feels so scammy, so low integrity, so hollow, and how the people that are winning in this space are dominating by doing the complete opposite of what these gurus tell you to do. Because quite frankly, I think a lot of internet entrepreneurs and people who are putting themselves out there get a lot of unwarranted hate. Quickly, if you're new here, my name is Mikey, and I like to make videos that help you and me live a good life. To me, that means entrepreneurship in the digital age. It also means performance optimization, and it means building a perception of reality that serves you and works for you rather than against you. Because I believe it is through this process of mental alchemy that you can truly build an incredible life. Now, if you're into very high level personal development and you're into digital entrepreneurship and all that kind of things, I hope my channel serves you, I hope this video serves you, and I hope you consider subscribing. But without further ado, make yourself some coffee, grab a seat, and let's get into the video. I want you to take Derek from More Plates, More Dates as an example. Derek has been creating content for 7 years, discussing health, fitness, steroid use, hormonal optimization. He's posted over 1,800 videos. Some of them, actually quite a lot of them, are 2 to 3 hour long lectures. He's had interviews with highly credible doctors like Dr. Andrew Huberman, like Dr. Peter Attia, and many more. And in every single one of his videos, he includes a clear disclaimer saying that this is not medical advice and that he is not a quote-unquote professional. But even after all of that, when Derek goes and he launches his supplement company, Gorilla Mind, which is now valued at over $100 million.
I don't know what you're doing per month, but I would not be shocked if this was doing between 6 and 8 million a month in revenue. Blink twice if I'm right.
Yeah, you guys are pretty, on point with your ballpark.
Good for him. Even him, he gets called a scammer. I'll give you another example. Take Chris Williamson, for example. Chris Williamson has been building his podcast for more than 5 years. And in 2023, he grew from 250,000 subscribers to 1.5 million. And after 5 years, 700 plus podcast episodes and incredibly insightful interviews with the most highly sought after intellectuals in the world, like Dr. Jordan Peterson, like Alex Hormozy, like all of these people, objectively providing an immeasurable amount of value to his audience through knowledge, inspiration, insight, tools, education. After all of that, and after growing his audience, he does what a logical, intellectual business person would do. He launches a product. He launches a nootropic productivity drink called Newtonic. And of course, he gets called a scammer. Even though every single ingredient in that drink is scientifically proven to do what it says it does. And even though this product, he's marketing it because it's his product and he loves it. He genuinely uses it every day. He's not drop shipping and selling some random pet accessory from Alibaba, but he gets called a scammer. I mean, where do these internet dungeon rats come crawling out from? Why do they have so much hate in their heart and spread so much negativity that they would call people like Derek from More Plates, More Dates or Chris Williams some scammers when they're just conducting business? And the crazy thing is, these are these two examples of people who have generated incredible amounts of goodwill for the market through the content that they've created over 5 years, 7 years. And they're selling a physical product. Like, this is such a traditional business model that you see everywhere. And they still get crap for it. So in my opinion, the people who get the most unnecessary hate in the internet, and you see this all the time, you've probably partook in some of the hate I have at some points in earlier stages of my development, are the 19, 18-year-old, 20 to 25, 27-year-old business gurus who teach people how to start a social media marketing agency, or how to start drop shipping, or how to start Amazon FBA, or any of those business models that I mentioned earlier. They've built a business, made some money online, and now they run an education company teaching others how to do the same thing. They gained mastery in a domain of life, and now they're showing others how to do the same thing they learned how to do. And they're getting compensated for it. But they get called scammers, and people hate on them. Why? That is literally how education works. That is the foundation of all education. You wouldn't learn how to do brain surgery from a nail technician. You wouldn't learn how to do accounting from your plumber. You don't want a violin teacher teaching you how to code. But when these people try to show others how to do what they've done, they get called scammers. And again, it's not what they're doing, it's how they're doing it. Let's take a brief walk down history lane. Philip II was the 18th king of Macedonia, and he had conquered most of classical Greece through diplomacy and through military expansion, and he united the Greek and the Macedonian forces in order to then go and attack the Persian Empire. That was his plan. At the time of doing this, he gave birth, well, no, he didn't give birth. His wife gave birth to his son. And as was the tradition back then, when you have a son, the way you educate them is by going and finding a mentor, a school of thought that you agree with, in order to instill the values that you agree with and the education necessary, right? So Philip II went and he sought the wisest man in Greece at the time, because he knew that a good king didn't just have to know about war. He had to know about history, about politics, about religion, values, morality. He had to have a holistic understanding. He understood that he couldn't teach him that, so he sought a mentor. And who did he get? Aristotle, who had learned from Plato, who had learned from Socrates before him. And that is how Aristotle became the mentor for Alexander the Great. This is how education works. You find someone who's done what you want to do and you learn from them. This idea of the modern education system where you go and you sit in a building that looks strangely familiar to a prison, and you are taught a predetermined curriculum, and you are taught not to understand but to memorize, and you learn from people that don't live the kind of lives that you want to live, on a set of skills, a set of knowledge that has nothing to do with your particular curiosity and interests, that then programs you to be obedient to the next organization that is going to indoctrinate you when you go into the workforce. This is new. This Prussian education system, this is not how it's always been. Thankfully, there's a shift in the tides and the online education space is growing. I think I saw that it's growing to approximately 325 billion by 2025, by next year. It is a growing industry. Now, obviously, I'm not comparing Aristotle to some 19-year-old kid teaching dropshipping or e-commerce or Amazon FBA or something like that, right? Obviously, that's not what I'm doing, but what I'm trying to illustrate is that this is how education is. If you want to do a certain thing, a particular skill, a particular set of knowledge, you have to go to the person that has done that before and learn from them. You gain mastery in a specific domain of life, you solve your own problems, and then you show others how to solve those problems that you've conquered for yourself, how to gain mastery in the field that you've gained mastery in already. This is how it's always worked. And this is what people are doing online when they sell their products, when they sell their services, when they sell their education, their information. So why do they get so much hate? Why are we so quick to yell and scream at the marketer that is selling us a Facebook ads course for $2,000, but we don't blink an eye at these multi-billion-dollar private universities that will charge you 10 times the price, take 4 years of your time just to teach you things that 85-90% of the things you learn will be completely useless in an ever-evolving market. Automation, AI, the creator economy, the digital renaissance, as I like to call it. You can't learn that stuff in school. The practical skills, education, knowledge, the things that you need to know to thrive in this age, you're not going to learn them in a traditional institution. The jobs of the future can't be learned from the education of the past. Like, it's that simple. And I'm not anti-university, anti-academia. I've studied at university and I learned a lot of things in university. I joined communities, I made friends. I loved what I studied. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have to supplement it with other things to be where I am today and seize the opportunities of the digital renaissance. I'm not anti-academia, I'm anti-dungeon rats. I'm anti-internet dungeon rats who don't think for themselves, who don't think critically, who will raise their pitchforks at the marketers, but then won't blink an eye at university education. I'm anti-people who will call Iman Gaji a scammer or arrogant because he's flexing his lifestyle on Instagram, but then they don't blink an eye at Dan Blitzerian, who's promoting e-cigarettes and vaping and OnlyFans girls. He's the man, right? Dan Blitzerian's the man, but Iman Gaji, oh no. He's teaching people how to make money online. He's evil. What? These people will get mad at some 20-year-old who's changed his life by making money on the internet, retired his parents, retired their family, and now he has an education company teaching others how to do the same thing. But when Drake gets $100 million contract to promote online gambling,
Trying to play some roulette, to be honest. Feel me?
no one bats an eye. That's totally fine. People need to get off their high horses and be objective, be real about themselves. If you're not selling a product, you're selling someone else's. You could be a graphic designer, but you're working for a company that is sending missiles to kids in Palestine. You could be a fast food worker at McDonald's which means you're selling poison to children. If you're not selling someone else's product, if you're not selling your own product, you're selling someone else's. That's how this stuff works. So I'm anti-internet dungeon rats. I'm anti-people who don't think for themselves. To bring this video in another direction now, to those of you who are into online business, who are into the digital renaissance, who want to make the most out of this, who want to capitalize on this opportunity, we are now going to discuss how to do this properly. Because again, the problem is not what these people are doing. The problem is not selling stuff online. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is how these people are doing it that are triggering all these people to get so much hate and so much backlash. The real problem is marketers marketing to marketers. Let's break this down. You remember the formula I gave you earlier. The formula for online education, the formula for any kind of business, to be honest, any form of education. Gain mastery, solve your own problems, and then show others how to solve the problems you've already solved for yourself through a product, through a service, through information, whatever. The real problem is that there's two kinds of people. One is that type of person that completely skips the mastery step and they just go straight to selling. And two is the person whose mastery is in marketing. So they go and they sell you the skill of marketing, so then you become a crappier version of them. And you see how this creates this sort of destructive feedback loop, right? Because you have three types of people then. The Machiavellian type, who doesn't care about mastery, just wants to make some money online, so they go straight to selling. The scammers, the literal scammers. Then you have person two, whose mastery is in marketing, so they create all of this allure and incredibly powerful messaging to get people to do what they do, which is just market. And then you have person three, who's the noob, right? Who wants to make some money online, wants to get into the space, who has their own individual talents, their own individual curiosities, their own God-given unique abilities. But who do they learn from? Who do they find on the internet? It's either person one, and they get scammed, and then that causes resentment, and then they become internet dungeon rats who yell at people on the internet. Or they run into person two, the fucking marketer. So then this person who has their own creative ability, curiosity, gifts, interests, they learn to just become a crappier version of person two. They become another marketer. They buy into person's two program who's selling them X, whether it's SMMA or dropshipping or Facebook ads or TikTok ads or an AI automation agency, whatever. And this becomes this massive circle jerk of marketers marketing. And this is where the hate comes from. This is where the internet dungeon rats, as I call them, crawl out from. I don't think these people genuinely believe or ideologically believe that capitalism and business is evil and they're like communists in disguise. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's classical conditioning. They've been exposed to this type of inauthentic, hollow marketing message, this style of content on the internet, of information, that they immediately react with feelings of anger or resentment without actually critically thinking through what the message is or critically thinking about what the product is. That's why they call someone like Derek or someone like Chris Williamson or someone like Iman Gaji or whatever a scammer, even though they're not doing anything wrong. They're just conducting business. There's an expression that I really love because it conveys so much wisdom in such a simple way. And that is, the smallest dog barks the loudest. I want you to picture this. The small, annoying little white dog is always barking, is always yapping. They're always being loud and trying to look intimidating, but in reality, they're terrified, right? It's annoying. It's extremely annoying. This is just like the marketer who is doing all of the gimmicky tactics and click optimization strategies, right? Lead magnet this, Iman Gaji style editing here, Alex Hermosi captions there, Mr. B style thumbnail, free webinar here, newsletter, whatever. It's just like, it's all of these tactics and almost this template that they're all following. It's mediocrity being disguised with a message of them barking over and over again, trying to prove that they're good. It's just like the little white dog, just like the Chihuahua who won't shut the up. Whereas the big, scary Rottweiler, they don't need to bark at all. They're calm, stoic, authentic. And that's the takeaway. If you want one piece of advice for self-improvement, for development in your business, in your relationships, in your creative abilities, in your career, one piece of advice that trumps everything else, because that's what they're all trying to say. Be undeniable. So good they can't ignore you. Raw, authentic, real. Be a real fucking human being on the internet. It's really that simple. There's a quote from Naval, which I really love. If you feel like you're competing with people, it's because you're copying them. But every human is different. Stop copying. No one can compete with you on being you. I want you to think about this. When you hear a great piece of music, your favorite song, you don't sit there and analyze it and deconstruct it. You don't sit there and say, I like this song because the bridge was 6 bars instead of 8. And because halfway through the song, the key changed to D minor, and then in the second chorus, but not in the first, the artist's voice kind of breaks into a falsetto before going back down to his normal tone. You don't do that. Unless you're like a deep music nerd, and that's who you are, no one thinks about music that way. Music moves you. It causes an emotional reaction. It causes memories to be created. It resonates deep within every fiber of your very being. Art can't be constructed or tactically analyzed. It must be created. Art is the language of the soul. And when someone, a creator, is creating authentically in that raw, undeniable way that I was just describing, that connects with people. Even if it's through a screen, even if it's through writing, through a painting, through a song, that speaks to people on a level that can't be understood by words. And the people who are doing that are the people who win in every single field, any industry, any state of the financial market. It does not matter. People who are artists, true creatives, people who are undeniable, creating from their soul, not trying to follow these gimmicky marketing tactics or schemes or templates that they found by DMing some influencer on Instagram. People who create. Those are the people that win. When you create from your soul, in a world where everybody's trying to sell theirs, you become an outlier. I'll end it here. Because you have a choice. You either sit and complain at all of these piranha marketers, at all of these unethical and hollow businesses and influencers that are spreading crap information, that are doing all these tactics. You can sit and complain, do some quiet quitting, or you can realize that by not starting your own business, by not spreading your own information, creating your own education, your own content, you are actively contributing to the evil. Because you are allowing the unethical businesses, you're allowing these hollow creators, the people who are not artists, you're allowing them to rise to the top without competition. Start creating authentically. Become undeniable. And stop getting mad at these gurus and influencers. They're doing business. Instead, laugh at the ones that are clearly just doing it poorly. That's all I have for you today. I hope this made you think. Take care of yourself. Peace.